Okay, I think we'll start actually. Let's go with Rory, if that's okay. Rory, can you hear me?
I can't hear anyone on here.
Rory, no? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Just give us a second.
I've got you. I can hear you.
Can people hear me? I can't hear anything.
I can hear Rory talking now.
Rory, have you joined with the video, with the audio? Or perhaps your laptop's muted?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Rory, can you hear me now? Rory?
I can't hear anything at all.
Are you muted, Rory? Your laptop muted.
Okay. Well, let's crack on. We'll start with John.
Yeah, I got you. I've got you. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Am I starting?
Yeah, he's all right.
Sorry. I couldn't get you there for some reason. Okay, Ollie, you good to go?
Yeah, good, mate.
So you've probably been there for about 10 minutes, have you?
Nah, I just got it. All good.
So 3 days solid work out there. Do you feel like does it feel like the team is ready for Test cricket?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the quality of competition that was going on out there was actually really high class throughout the 3 days. I think especially the first two, obviously today we're sort of trying to set up a game, so you probably saw a few like one-day skills in there, but you might find yourself in that sort of situation as well. But yeah, during those, especially those first 2 days, I think the bowlers hit their straps well. It was quite a slow wicket, so there wasn't much margin for error for the bowlers. But I think the batters everyone managed to spend a decent amount of time at the wicket, just sort of getting used to being out there in an open field rather than sort of in an enclosed net. And everyone looked like they were moving well, and the bowlers looked like they were showing off their skills as well. So I think it was a very productive 3 days.
And for yourself, you've obviously been like everyone else. You'll have spent a long time out of the nets and out of your usual routine. You were hitting it nicely out there. Do you feel like you haven't sort of missed a beat? You're picking up where you left off with England?
I think we're getting there. You still, because of obviously such a long stint without picking up a bat, you still every now and again don't feel quite right. But I think that's natural in a game, natural in the net, sorry. You get in that sort of situation where you've got to sort of, especially in the nets that we played on some quite spicy wickets against our own bowlers. There's no net bowlers around, so the quality of bowling's been seriously high on some pretty spicy wickets. So sometimes it's trying to sort of get through the net and just keeping your wicket rather than actually just feeling good and finding the middle of the bat. So it's trying to get that balance right. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting there. I felt pretty good in the first innings, and it was nice to spend a bit more time there today. So I think we're all moving in the right direction.
And can I ask, how nice was it to see Sam sitting out there on the boundary edge, watching the last session? It must have been a slightly concerning situation yesterday when we found out he was isolating and getting tested. So nice to be getting the all clear for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're trying to obviously focus on the cricket, but who knows that I don't know how you sort of deal with those situations, but yeah, it's good that he's obviously tested negative for the virus, and he's sort of feeling a lot better and nearly ready to go. So hopefully it was just a quick 24-hour thing, but yeah, it was good to see him out there today.
Okay, any more questions? John, are you up for a question?
Ollie, how did you find the atmosphere? I mean, obviously pretty quiet. I mean, some of the guys have been commenting that it's almost more quiet than they were expecting, or they suddenly realised just quite how quiet it's going to be.
It is quiet, yeah. I think especially at a ground like this where there's obviously outside of the ground, there's nothing really going on. There's no busy roads or anything, so you've literally got no real noise out there. So it is quiet. We've got to try and create our own atmosphere. It's obviously difficult during a warm-up game. We play a lot of these games, especially like at the start of tour, where whatever happens, sort of it's not got the same intensity as a test match. So mentally as well, that obviously changes things up, and it is quiet, but I think it doesn't necessarily change the quality of cricket going on out there. I think it's something we've just got to try and find a way of creating the atmosphere on the pitch, especially when we're on top, or sort of we need to find a bit of energy. But yeah, whether we're going to play a bit of music out the speakers or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, we can find ways of creating our own atmosphere, I'm sure.
It will feel a little bit more atmospheric. Once the test match starts, there'll be TV cameras there. You know that people are going to be watching it on the box. Is that would itself create a bit of its own atmosphere, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the crowd when we have the big crowds there and the Barmy Army there, it's amazing. But look, we're still playing Test cricket. It's still the pinnacle. No matter if there's not a single person in the crowd or not, it's still what we all have dreamed of doing. So I think there's still going to be those nerves in the morning and even during the game, because we know so much rides on it. So yeah, I think everyone's just really excited to get going now as well, though, and definitely, like you said, when that test match starts, I think crowd or no crowd, we're going to be really up for it, and we're going to create the atmosphere ourselves, I'm sure.
Okay, Wilson, please.
Hi, Ollie. I know you were Team Butler, but from the experience you had out in the middle with Stokes captain of the opposition against you, what was that like? Would you get any impressions of how he might do the job come Wednesday?
I think yes and no. I think having played with him a little bit now and watching how he goes about his cricket and the type of player and the type of bloke he is, I know sort of what the kind of captain he'll be. He'll be open to ideas, I'm sure, but he'll have he'll have a pretty clear game plan in his head, and he'll have it all pretty well structured in his mind as well. But it was good to sort of play against him as well and see that kind of things and see how he goes about it. But yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be a great captain as well. But yeah, it was good to play against him.
Cheers, thanks.
Can I also, Ollie, you mentioned making your own atmosphere there. Can I take it from that Mark Wood will be singing Jerusalem every morning?
Oh, I hope he does. I seriously hope he does. Yeah, it's he did it when we were walking out the other day into the field, and I only just saw the video this morning, and yeah, outstanding. He's got a voice of an angel.
Any more questions?
Yeah, can I just ask one too? Ollie, did the bowlers notice any difference not being able to put saliva on the ball? Has it affected swing or impact on movement?
Yeah, we're going to have to find our way. I mean, you see some bowlers anyway, especially in the hot country, sort of using their sweat to shine the ball. But it's quite a weird situation, especially when it's cold and windy. You've got to put the ball around for whoever's sweating at the time. You might have done a bit of running recently, chased a ball down, but if you sort of stood in the slips for a few overs and haven't done much moving, you might not be sweating, so you can't really shine the ball. So you've got to chuck it to the man with a bit of sweat on his forehead, use the sweat on his forehead, and give the ball a little rub there, whether that's a bowler or someone who's just done some fielding. But yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge because it's difficult to keep the ball in as good nick without using any saliva. But we'll obviously try and find our ways. And yeah, if it takes a few star jumps at cover, then so be it.
And you just got off the field, but the Prime Minister announced that club cricket's going to restart a week on Saturday. Is that presumably that's good news? You must know a lot of people in the club game who are desperate to get out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've only just found out, obviously, because we're on the pitch, but I think that's amazing news. I've got a group chat. I'm part of Cranley Cricket Club. I've got a group chat with them, and I think that by the looks of it, they're all buzzing, and it's great for them. It's great to get that bit of normality back, and I'm really excited for them all, and I think they're pretty buzzing to go as well. So it's good to have cricket back on our screens and get sort of the country back playing again. I think it's amazing for the sport.
Cheers, thank you.
Okay, we'll go with Matt from Cricinfo.
Hi, Ollie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
What did you make of the pitch this week?
It was quite a slow wicket, actually. That first day just felt a little bit soft, and there wasn't a lot of carry, so nicks weren't always carrying through. And especially going from the nets, like I said, the nets have been quite spicy. They've been quite quick and a bit of nip. So we've gone from one extreme to the other, which is great for our games because it's good to adapt because we're not sure what kind of wicket we're going to get out there come next Wednesday. But it was quite slow. Started turning a little bit at the end, but yeah, it wasn't very similar to the Nets, but that's okay. We've been able to sort of adapt our skills and deal with it that way.
And obviously, one of the West Indies' main strengths is probably their fast bowling. Do you think a pitch like that would suit you next week as a batsman, or do you think you'd rather have something with a bit truer bounce, maybe?
You've just got to adapt your game. Sometimes on a wicket with truer bounce, it makes playing a short ball a little bit easier. Sometimes, but then again, it makes it a little bit easier to pull if it's a slightly slower wicket. So I don't think there's you've just got to play a slightly different game is sort of what I'm trying to get at. I don't think there's much difference. It's just sort of adapting whether you want to sort of take on the pull shot or get under a few more, depending on how quick it is and how consistent the bounce is. So I don't think necessarily there can be a positive or a negative to it. You've just got to sort of adapt your game to the conditions, whatever's out there.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Okay, I think we're done. Thank you very much, Ollie. Thank you. You can go and have your dinner.
Cheers. Thanks, Ollie.
We'll chat with these guys online before.
No worries.
Thank you.
Cheers, Ollie. Thanks.